The Loch Ness Monster, also known as Nessie, is a mythical creature in the Scottish folklore that is said to inhabit Loch Ness in the Scottish Highlands. It is often described as a large, long-necked and with one or more humps protruding from the water. Popular interest and belief in the creature has verified since it was brought to worldwide attention in 1933. Evidence of its existence is unknown, with a number of disputed photographs and sonar readings. The scientific community explains the alleged sightings of the Loch Ness Monster as hoax, wishful thinking, and downright just an object in the water. The pseudoscience and subculture of cryptozoology has placed particular emphasis on the creature. But is this all real? Hello, Primal Drake here, back with another video. And today we will be discussing the possibilities of one of the most well-known cryptid animals in the cryptozoology. That's right. In this video, I will be discussing the Loch Ness Monster. Possible or impossible? Let's go over what we know about Nessie first. Let's start off with the earliest report. The earliest report of the monster and the Loch Ness appears in the Life of Saint Columba by Ottoman, written in the 7th century AD. According to Ottoman, writing about a century after the event describes Irish monks Saint Columba, who was staying in the land of the Picts with his companions, when encountered local residents burying a man by the river Ness. They explained that the man was swimming in the river when he was attacked by a water beast that mauled him and dragged him underwater, despite their attempts to rescue him by boat. Columba sent follower Lugin Maku men to swim across the river. The beast approached him, but Columba made the sign of the cross and said, "Go no further, do not touch the man, go back at once." The creature stopped as if it had been pulled back with ropes and fled. The Columba's men and the Pecks gave their thanks for what they perceived as a miracle. In 1934, the surgeon's photograph is reported the first of the creature's head and neck. You know, this picture. Supposedly taken by Robert Kenneth Wilson, a London gynecologist, it was published in the Daily Mail on the 21st April of 1934. Wilson's refusal to have his name associated with it led to being known as the surgeon's photograph. According to Wilson, he was looking at the loch when he saw the monster, grabbed his camera, and snapped 4 photos. Only 2 exposures came out clearly. The first reportedly shows a small head and the back, and the second shows a similar head in a diving position. The first photo came out well known. Roughly about 60 years later, the photo has came out to become one of the biggest hoax. It was around 1994 most agreed that the photo was an elaborate hoax. But is Nessie real? Now is where I come in and talk about how it is impossible for a creature like this to survive in our modern era. Nessie throughout the years have been explained as a plesiosaur of some kind. Now we all know plesiosaurs went extinct around 65 million years ago alongside with the dinosaurs. In order for a creature like this to survive throughout 65 million years, they evolve into something far more different than what it looked back then. Not only evolution is involved with this drastic change, the species need to follow the 50 out of 500 rule. 50 of the species need to survive to avoid inbreeding. 500 need to be able to survive to keep the lineage going. Now for the possible. Like I said, with the impossible, Nessie would have looked a lot different than what the depictions of Nessie is. Evolution is a funny thing. It will change the species to fit their environment. Now, there is no possibility of Nessie looking like what it did back, say, 65 million years ago as a plesiosaur. It would have had to change so much it wouldn't be recognizable in the fossil records. One, for instance, the Ice Age happened. Colder climate, colder waters. That would mean that Nessie would have had to develop blubber to fit in the colder environments. Not to mention, there were several other mammal species in the ocean. Basilosaurus is one good example. It would need to be able to compete with the other predators in the ocean, say maybe a shorter neck, larger fins. Now we already got something that looks a little bit different. Either or, possible or impossible, deep down in my heart, I still want to believe that the Loch Ness Monster is real. But the scientist in me says otherwise. But maybe one day, just maybe, the truth will finally come out, and my heart is saying, I really do hope that Nessie is real.